the aspect that I will be covering with respect to the technical details of the exam is how to choose how to go about answering some questions, and what kind of mindset to keep when attempting every section, right? So usually what happens is in my exam, and I think that happens with every pattern, is that work comes first. So we know that the split up is 22 questions of work, 22 questions of I think maths and quantitative ability, and 20 questions of data interpretation and logical reasoning. In general, the aim should be to get maximum number of questions correct in the work segment. The highest scoring segment almost always is the work. So it is said that if you do really well in work, the chances of you coming in with a very good percentile from that exam is very high. And if you do some mistakes there, that is where the differentiation happens. That is because, like, the average around work goes about 40 to 45 marks. So that is where, and it's the easiest scoring section, believe me. So if with some consistency, like sir was teaching parallel reasoning before this as well, right? Practicing all of the concepts, reading a lot of newspapers and articles, and not just reading them, getting deriving insights out of that is very important. So one thing that I used to do was I used to read newspapers consistently. That is one thing. And second, I used to do a lot of paragraphs and comprehensions, and basically get a hang of how fast you can read that paragraph and get meaning out of it. Because these paragraphs, they're not very difficult. Okay, they are a little bit confusing. They want to confuse you, but they're long as well. So in whatever time you get, if it's a 2-hour examination, you get about 40 minutes, right? So in the 40 minutes, the first and foremost goal has to be to make sure that you are attempting every question correctly, right? So you should not be like guess marking it, that in a way that we used to do in our engineering exams, for example, in JEE and all, where we're eliminating some choices, and then we are just guessing between two choices that are left. That when that happens, usually in CAT, what happens is you usually get it wrong. So getting that practice of reading the paragraph very fast, skimming through the lines, and getting whatever you want, whatever meaning you want out of that, is very, very important. So get a hang of that. Get a hang of reading things fast. That is one thing that I would suggest for work. In the quantitative ability, it's pretty straightforward. It's class 12th maths. Again, it's just practice. Here, one thing that you guys have to remember about CAT is it's a rejection examination. They want to filter out people. So they are just testing for your speed there. Like how fast can you do the questions, and how correctly can you do the questions. Can you maintain your concentration there for 2 hours? That's all they're checking. There, they are not checking your intellectual ability at all. That is one thing that you guys should just keep in your minds, when that should be your headspace when you are sitting in that examination. So quant is that's for quant, and maybe identify a few areas in which you are very strong. Get those areas absolutely on point. Like you should not be losing marks there, and then maybe from the weak areas you can attempt those questions in the end if you have some time. In quant, it's not necessary that you attempt all the questions. For example, in my experience, out of 22 questions, I attempted 13 questions, and all 13 I got right. So focus more on the accuracy, even when you're giving your mocks, or when you're doing questions out of your books, etc. Because right, there is negative marking there. So there is no point in doing 4 correct and 2 wrong, because it will eventually turn out to be like the net effect will be you're just doing 3 questions correctly. So in that sense, just focus on the accuracy. Even if you do like attempt like 15 questions, try to get 90% accuracy there. So that will stand you in that will hold you in very good stead when it comes to the final marks. Coming to the data interpretation, logical reasoning, if you have just started out the preparation, this particular section will feel very overwhelming in the beginning, and I request everybody here to not lose out hope there, because even I in the beginning felt really overwhelmed. if I attempted, let's say, three questions of three parts, three DALR blocks with three questions each, sometimes I was not even able to solve one of them. That was how bad I was in the beginning. But with practice, what happens is you start to identify patterns in each and every question. That's the trick for DALR questions. You have to basically do so many questions that almost all the questions will fall under one, or there are some 10 to 15 patterns with which you can solve every DALR question. They will fall under that. You have to just identify that and put it into practice. So that is where the practice comes in, where you develop muscle memory by just looking at the question and getting it there ki, this is how I will have to go about it. Once you get that trick, it's a very straightforward question. It's very rare. So what will happen is there are 20 questions here, so it will be split into, I guess, 5 or 4 sets, out of which one set will be super difficult. So in DALR especially, it is absolutely important that you identify which question is easy, like which set is easy and which set is not. If you get stuck in a set which is tough, then what will happen is you'll waste a lot of your time, your confidence will get dented, and then that headspace will carry on to the next set also. So before attempting that the DLR section, in the last 40 minutes, go through the entire 4 sets, go through all the 20 questions, and then decide. Give like 4 minutes or 5 minutes to it. That's not an issue at all. But once you have identified there is one set which is incredibly difficult, which I don't think I'll be able to do even if I give 40 minutes to that one set itself. Just strike that set out. Just that's your sunk cost. Leave that out, and you might have like 13 to 14 questions remaining, out of which you can easily attempt 12 questions. And even from that, if you get 10 questions right, your exam is done. Like if you get 10 questions right, you are easily in the top, let's say, 1 percentile. I can guarantee that. It's that big a differential there. So I got only 7 questions right. Okay, and I still was able to score very well. So that is what identifying a set, the difference that it makes. So that is a strategy that I followed, and that's what I just told you guys. Like this was my mental map of going through the examination.